Can I just say just a word just as we're getting going? This is a great presentation. And what these guys have done, they're both men with lived experience. They are, I think, the next step in really teaching both the people inside prisons as well as all the people in corrections about trauma and kind of how to relate and humanize each other and be kind to each other within this structure we call prison or jail. And they're going all over the place. I mean, every time I talk to them, they're in Idaho. I think they're skiing. Or they're, there's a couple of times they've been in Hawaii, Tahiti, But anyway, they're amazing guys, and I leave it to you.
Okay, and thanks for no pressure. All right, so we're going to get started. Welcome everyone to the Rap on Reentry, a GPS for a successful reentry. Next slide. So in today's presentation, we're going to explore, how the Wellness Recovery Action Plan can be an effective tool to aid individuals in their return to society and reduce recidivism. Next slide. So we are the Horton brothers. For those that don't know, in this presentation, we're going to talk about, You might want to tell them what my name is. Yeah, he's Lee Horton.
Okay.
I'm Dennis Horton. And then let me say this, I'm actually the oldest. So I want to make sure everybody knows that before we even start. So because we have a little thing. And, if you have a younger sibling, he wants to kind of tell me what to do.
So the wisdom is coming from this side.
The wisdom is coming from this side. That's it. You got it. You're on my side. All right, go ahead. I'll let you go.
Older sibling thing. Yeah.
So before I get started again, I just want to be clear. You all knew who was the oldest already, right? Okay. So, we want to share our experience, with the transformative power of the Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And both as a life management tool for us while in prison and an effective reentry after prison. We are forensic peer support specialists. We are advanced wellness recovery action plan facilitators. And we are also program development coordinators for Step by Step Inc. So who is Step by Step Inc.? Step by Step Inc. is a private nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting children and adults in Pennsylvania living with intellectual disability and physical disabilities, autism, for instance, mental health disorders, and substance use disorders. Step by Step is also a RAP Center of Distinction and a licensed partner with the owners of RAP, Advocates for Human Potential. Before we move on, let me ask this question. Has anyone ever heard of the Copeland Center? So Step by Step Inc., Center of Distinction has replaced the Copeland Center as the provider in the state of Pennsylvania and abroad, in partnership with Advocates for Human Potential who own the rights to RAP. Next slide. So what is RAP? The Wellness Recovery Action Plan is a self-designed structure process that supports individuals in achieving their wellness and their life goals. It was developed by a group of individuals who had been managing difficult feelings and behaviors for years. RAP emerged from their collective efforts to improve their lives in 1997. These peer groups in Vermont, led by Mary Ellen Copeland, conceived what we now know as the Wellness Recovery Action Plan. So RAP is evidence-based, it has been well-researched, and is proven to help people feel less stressed, be more confident, better able to talk with their care providers, and more in control of their personal wellness. And RAP, we believe there are no limits to wellness or no limits to recovery. In 2010, RAP was recognized by the United States Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, as an evidence-based practice. Next slide. So, what does the implementation of the science of RAP facilitation program show? So, the randomized controlled trial research demonstrated that overall positive outcomes and symptoms and overall quality of life, significant decrease in service utilization and self-reported need for services. It increased patient self-advocacy. So what were the RAP outcomes? So RAP recipients improved more than controls from a baseline to 8-month follow-up on multiple outcomes. So increased hopefulness, quality of life, recovery, employment, and self-advocacy, reduce troublesome symptoms such as depression, anxiety, and individuals were less dependent on services. Next slide. So the 4 parts to the study of wellness are the key concepts, which is hope, personal responsibility, education, self-advocacy, and support, which is the actual foundation of RAP. The Wellness Toolbox was studied, and these are those tools that an individual who writing a RAP for themselves put together based off of their own life experience to help them to have great outcomes. And then number 3, which is the Wellness Recovery Action Plan, the structure in of itself was studied, and 4 additional wellness topics like building self-esteem, changing negative thoughts to positive ones, peer support, lifestyle issues, a healthy way of life, motivation, just to name a few. So RAP is not new. It's been around for 20 years, and people worldwide, use RAP process to achieve their goals and transform their lives. No matter, how one defines wellness, RAP helps individuals achieve it step by step on their own terms. And I think that is the beautiful thing about RAP, because it meets individuals where they are and use their life experience to take them through a journey, to where they want to go at, having the outcomes that they want to have. So how does it work? So RAP helps individuals identify the tools that keep them well and create action plans to integrate these tools into their daily lives. It incorporates key recovery concepts and wellness tools, both the plans and the individual's life. So what can RAP help you do? So with RAP, individuals have been able to discover simple, safe, and effective tools to create and maintain wellness. Develop a daily plan to stay on track with life and wellness goals. Identify what throws them off track and create a plan to keep moving forward. So basically, particularly for individuals on the inside, they face a whole lot of difficult things, and by having that, that RAP, it definitely can help them to move through their prison, their incarceration better and stronger, and more focused. So gain support and stay in control even during a crisis. And this is kind of what I just said. Achieve freedom from troubling thoughts, behaviors, and patterns. Feel empowered and making decisions about their lives. Build a strong support network of people and resources to help reach their goals. I just want to say this, add to that. It's something to be said, and matter of fact, we were just having this conversation earlier. It's something to be said when an actual inmate can have a say in his rehabilitation. one of the things that Lee and I used to talk about when we were on the inside, with Deputy Wall, who's now Superintendent Wall of Waymark. No one ever asked the inmate what he or she needs. I wish someone would ask me what I need when I first arrived in prison. Mr. Horton, what do you need in order to be successful while you're here and eventually when you're released? That probably would have blew my mind. That probably would have helped me to navigate better through all the things that I was struggling through already. That would have also told me that people want to really support me as opposed to just tell me everything they want me to do. When you come into prison, you already struggling with a whole lot of things. So someone telling you, remember, many of these men have been told this over and over and over from a young teenager all the way up to adulthood. And for the first time, finally, someone gives them a say in their own wellness, and their own in the process of them working through all the things that brought them to prison in the first place.
May I support you a little bit?
Sure.
And I just want to say one thing on that. And I heard it said earlier when we was in the main room about collaboration. When I come to, if I was someone coming into the prison system, I see two things. If you're telling me what I should do, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get defensive. Because I haven't come to this realization that the things I've done was wrong. But if you say, what do you need, I hear collaboration. I hear that you want to work with me to help me be a better person. So it's those two things. So when he says, what do you need, as opposed to somebody saying, you need to do this, you need to do that, your thinking stinks. You got to do these things to get yourself better. We need to fix you some kind of way. It's something broken. That's what I hear. That might not be what you're saying, but that's exactly what I hear. But if somebody was to say to a person coming in, and we began to do this when we was incarcerated, we probably get into that later, but we began to ask people, we would part of orientation. And when we would have a whole group and we say, okay, we want each one of you to tell us what do you need in order for you to leave here and not be the same person that you was when you came in. If you want to change, what do you need? All these things are available. We're going to give you all the resources, all the programs that you can take. But what do you need? You have to take TC, that therapeutic community. We know all of that. But what do you need? And think about it. And we would sit there and we would brainstorm with these guys. They would come up with some ideas of what they needed to do. So that's really relevant. So
thank you for that. So now we really want to place some things in context. We want to get into the Horton brothers' rap journey. In May of 1993, we were arrested, and we were charged with murder, and we were found guilty, and subsequently we were sentenced to life. But one problem, we were wrongfully convicted, and we were wrongfully in prison for 20. We spent 28 years in prison, 18 at SCI Monomoy. 8 years at SCI Chester, and a couple of years in the county prison awaiting to go through that process. Next slide.
Oh, can I say one little thing?
Please.
And I want to just add this to it. When I went to prison, I had 4 children. I had a wife. I had a pretty good job. I had never been incarcerated before. Never had any kind of contacts with the law. My brother was, he had a fiance. He was facing his life ahead of him. Never had any contacts with the law. This was our first time going to prison, so it wasn't as if we was guys who were in and out. This was our first time. And my son just reminded me today. I always say I had a 2-week-old baby, and I work out with him now. And he said, "Well, I think you're a little off on that. I think I was about a week old when you went to prison because I was born on the 24th." And I said, "You was born on the 24th? I thought you was born on another different day." It's like, okay, you got nervous, but yes.
Yes.
We'll keep talking until I fix this.
Okay. All right. So you got to put that slide up so I can know exactly where we at.
Challenges. We had challenges.
So next we're going to get into some of the challenges we faced upon arriving in prison. We had our own traumas that we brought to prison. We had our own life traumas, and then while we were there, we had to deal with everyday life traumas of just being in prison, and that really made our life difficult.
See, and you hit that right on the nose.
Yeah. So, we struggled. You know what I mean? Despite shouldn't be in prison, but we struggled with it, with anxiety. We struggled with depression. We struggled, with anger issues. We spend a lot of time being angry and frustrated. And because I want to be clear, I want you all to really understand where we were at, and at some point, we felt like, just like a dark cloud just fell over our lives. We felt like our lives was over. We felt like, we were just falling down into a pit that was so deep that we couldn't even see any light up at the top. Everything was just dark. And just to put the cherry on top of that, to give you a real understanding of how we felt, anybody who knew us at SCI Montevoy can tell you we went 10 years, if not more, without even smiling. We was those guys that you saw in prison that didn't smile much, we didn't talk much, and here's the thing, we were always respectful, but we were struggling. And, when you see those individuals in prison, they're struggling. When you see those people block the doors off, they're struggling. They're struggling with depression, many of them struggling with anxiety, they're struggling with a whole host of mental health issues, but sometimes go unaddressed and can lead to very bad outcomes. So, next slide.
Yeah, I'm all messed up here. All right, but before you go on, can I say one thing?
Please.
That darkness he talked about, it was a time, and I would have just share this. It was a time early on when my grandma came to see us. We told her about this darkness. We was talking about how prison was a dark place and how people were cold-hearted. And she sat and listened to us for about 45 minutes, and then she gave us this advice. She told us, she said, if it's dark in there, then I want you to light it up with hope. And if it's cold in there, then I want you to heat it up with love. And my brother and I, being who we were sitting in between her, and we kind of like leaned back and looked at each other. I nodded my head to him, he nodded my head to me, and I nodded his head to me. And I knew exactly what he was thinking. He was thinking, Grandma Minnie done lost her mind. We was disappointed at it, but we would learn and understand what she meant later on.
And basically, we wanted, at some point in this incarceration, we wanted to give up. We was feeling hopeless. And that was the metaphor for when we was down so far down in that pit. We really did want to give up. But, we kept going. And one of the things that helped us to keep going was, we were, approached by the CCPM, and we were told that a new program was coming to the institution, and that to the DOC overall, and that new program was the Certified Peer Support Specialist program. And during that training, they encouraged us to write a rap for ourselves because they wanted us to be well and doing the work as a CPS. And let me just say this. When we wrote those raps for ourselves, first of all, the CPS program brought a lot to our lives, but when we wrote those raps for ourselves, that was a total game changer. Now we had a system, a method, a process, of working through all those negative emotions and feelings at times, because you can be doing enough and you just make it. Let me just say it. although, you know, we were there and we were doing some things, you know, but we always felt like we was out on the cliff, you know, and we had nothing holding on to us. And one wrong step, and down we go, without no safety net, no anything. And I'm telling you, that's how most inmates feel. One little thing, and you all know, if you work in a prison, one little thing can send you spiraling, and before you recuperate or recover, you know, you turn around and 10 years then went by, and you've been in a hole, in a restrictive housing unit, or you on SMU somewhere, and this is where you've been for the last 10 years. Because you never got the support or the help you needed. So, but for us, rap was a game changer, and I can sit here and try to, you know, explain it to you, but I think we got a video that I think can bring it home a little more than I probably could.
For us, rap was a game changer. It was as if rap had given us a roadmap to live our best life every single day inside of the prison. With rap, we were able to navigate prison life in ways unheard of. Over the next few years, we would go from students to teachers and creators of programs and events. Applying rap to our lives helped us to find purpose and a drive to be better men. As a result, we started an organization called Compass, community of men promoting a safer society. From there, we put on plays, workshops, crime victim awareness conferences, mental health seminars, accountability courses. We started a health and wellness program. We taught decision-making courses and became mentors and life coaches. Created a reentry program and helped create a think tank made up of inmates, college students, parole agents, professors, and many more, designed to find solutions to society's problems. And we did much, much more. In the midst of all that, we became rap facilitators and conducted weekly rap seminars for years. With rap, we were able to create an empowerment environment and saw happen to the men what happened to us. Violence went down. Trips to the RHU or whole were reduced. More men enrolled in education programs, and more inmates made parole. And although voluntary, the list for rap never fell below 200. Wow, this was a great program. Incredibly, rap opened up a pathway for us to actually obtain our freedom. On February 12, 2021, by decree of the Pennsylvania Governor, Tom Wolf, we were released from prison after 28 years on the first actual innocence application. What a way to end the story.
Hold up, our story does not end there. This was the start of a new beginning. Rap placed us on an unbelievable trajectory for reentry. It was like the old saying, give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. But if you teach him how to fish, he'll feed himself for a lifetime. Not only did rap teach us to fish for ourselves, it gave us a roadmap to a better, more productive future. Because of the organizing and work we did in prison, we were hired to work on the John Fetterman campaign for the U.S. Senate. At the same time, we were hired by a nonprofit called Shine a Light to facilitate rap to inmates around the country via Zoom. We also began subcontracting for the owners of rap, Advocates for Human Potential, facilitating rap seminars across Pennsylvania and around the country with employees of companies, people in the community, mental health professionals, social workers, and unbelievably, we facilitated rap with military personnel. We also became trainers at the Pennsylvania DOC Training Academy with the Crisis Intervention Training Team, and was recruited by nonprofit Step by Step Inc. to build out its Rap Center of Distinction and to help Step by Step use rap to create a stronger, safer, and more connected Pennsylvania. As a result of our work with rap, the National Alliance of Mental Illness has labeled us, alongside of Mary Ellen Copeland, as experts in the field of rap. Through it all, what we have learned is that rap is for everyone and has helped millions worldwide. So, as you can see, we had an unbelievable, pathway while we were in prison. Rap impacted our lives in such a way that it helped us to navigate And we also had, you know, an unbelievable reentry, as you can see. But we don't want you to just take our words for it. You know, we want you to hear from some others that's going to lend their voices to this conversation.
Greetings. My name is Norman Lisby. I served 26 years in the Department of Corrections in Pennsylvania. I came to learn and love rap while I was incarcerated. Let me tell you a story, and the best way to describe what rap has done for me. When I went to prison in 1996, I was like living in the Flintstone age compared to society today. When I came home from prison almost 2 years ago, April 7th, 2022, it was like stepping into the Jetsons age. And one of the greatest inventions, I believe, by far, is the GPS system. The GPS system being on your phone, it allows you to navigate throughout the country and find the most remote locations. Actually, it was used for me to get to this destination today, which I'm so blessed to share with you. And rap for me, while on the inside, was the GPS. A GPS on how to navigate through the daily dealings of being incarcerated, the daily dealings of dealing with mental health issues and recovering from them, actually.
Hi, my name is Kurt Danish. I was trained in rap while I was incarcerated, serving a 24-year sentence. Rap, more than anything, kind of showed me that I was in control of my own emotional state. It gave me the tools to deal with adversity. It gave me the ability to be resilient, to develop strengths that I never knew existed. I now facilitate rap. I share it with people that are incarcerated. I share it with people that have never been incarcerated. And I believe rap changes lives.
Hey there, my name is Doug Gerard, former inmate number 38809, North Dakota Prison System. I just wanted to take a quick minute here to let you know that there's a program that actually helped me change my life. EOCR, they gave me so many different kinds of treatment, education, and so forth that were required I had to do to jump through the hoops. I never got much out of them. Then again, I didn't put much into them either, but it didn't work out very well for me. As soon as the RAP program came into my life, things really changed. RAP stands for Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And let me tell you, it was the best thing that could have happened to me. I took mine to the Shining Light Academy. I was one of the first graduates in the state of North Dakota. And even to this day, I use this program all the time. It is an amazing tool to have. It's more like a preemptive strike. When you've got a good day, you figure out what you're going to do when you have a bad day. And that critical thinking is really important. It helped change my life. I am a manager with a health agency now. I have my children back. I own my car outright. Life is good. And they give me credit to RAP. So if you have the opportunity to either take the program, or if you have the opportunity to help others in my situation take the program, please take a look at it because it is amazing. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
So we kind of showed you how rap worked in our lives, and we had individuals that kind of also let you know how rap worked in their lives, you know, while they were incarcerated. But now we want to focus on reentry and how rap can work for reentry. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lee.
So the rap on reentry, and I just want to tell a quick story about this. You know, when we first got trained, we had to get transferred from the institution we was in, which was SCI Chester at the time, and we had to go back to Camp Hill. And we went to Camp Hill, and we was going through the training, going down to the education department every day. And there was this one officer who was like, you know, at the desk, she was, admitting people in and out. And we had this small room. We had the smallest room in the place, and we had no water. And so we came down. That was the first day. It was really, we got through it. We wanted to be there, so we went through it. The second day, this lady, she made a comment on, she didn't know why the DOC was wasting its money teaching people how to rap. And she was talking to us, and she said, He said, say that again? He said, I don't know why, I'm just so angry right now that the DOC is wasting money teaching you guys how to rap. Don't you know how to rap already? And I said, I think we know how to rap. And I said, we do know how to rap. I said, but you know, I don't think they're teaching us how to do what Snoop Dogg does. This is called the Wellness Recovery Action Plan, rap. And she looked at me and she looked at everybody and she cracked up. She started laughing, we started laughing, and then she said, we started to go to the room. She said, don't worry about that room. And she put us in a bigger room. Then we had some coffee, and then we had some water and everything. But that's how we got the rap on Reentry from that story. But first what we want to do is we want to set a baseline and kind of understand what Reentry is. Now, Reentry is the process of transitioning from incarceration back to the community. It involves reuniting with your family. And I mean, all of you already know this, but I want to make sure we all on the same page. I had to rebuild the relationship. I was away from my wife and kids for 28 years. You know, I used to talk to my wife on the phone, and I used to be like, this is not the person I married. And when they said, you're going home, and I said, I got to go back to this person. I don't even know this person. So I had to rebuild that. I had to transition. Rap helped me to do that. Finding stable housing. You know, when I came out, I moved with my son, my middle son. He bought a house. I moved with him. And he was like, Pop, you know, you got to follow my rules. You know how this goes, right? And I was like, I got to get out of here. So I went through it. I followed his rules, and now I have my own house. Overcoming employment barriers. You know, when we got out, we was fortunate. We did planning while we was inside, came home, and we was able to overcome those barriers. But, you know, so the goal of Reentry is to help individuals successfully reintegrate into their communities, meet their basic needs, and reduce the likelihood of reoffending. It sounds really, really simple. And I think sometimes it can be really simple, but we kind of make it harder than what it actually is. But those of us who went through it and been successful at it, we see how you can make this a better process. So, next slide. So RAP's impact on reentry. RAP has had a significant positive impact on reentry for individuals transitioning from incarcerated back into the community. Now, you heard from us, but it's a whole lot more people who use this program to transition back. And what we've seen is that every single one of these individuals that we meet who used it, who were incarcerated, they're having tremendous outcomes. While I worked with a guy in Seattle, Washington, called Nate Enholm. And he was somebody who had a lot of trauma growing up, had a lot of contacts with law enforcement, with going to prison. And when he started using rap, he realized that a part of that plan, when he started thinking about stressors, he started thinking about his family. And he realized he had to disconnect from his family. And when he disconnected from his family, everything started to flourish. He wrote a rap plan for himself, and now he's the CEO of a company. We go to Montana, we work together. We work together in California. We work together in different places. And he has a company. He has, I think, around about 50 employees, and he's doing very well. But he would have never got there had he not wrote that rap plan. He's also an advanced level rap facilitator like us. Next slide. So now here are some benefits we believe rap can give individuals who are coming home, who are going through their incarceration. Mental health support. Like my brother said, when we were inside, we were going through a lot of mental health issues that were just coming because we were in prison. We brought some things with us. We had some stuff. You know, everybody got some stuff they bring with you, and we had to deal with that stuff. But also we had to deal with the things that go on in prison, and that was some other stuff that we had to deal with. And that stuff was off the charts. And you know, I went through a depression, and my brother was my supporter. He helped nurse me out of that, but I also had support with one of the officers. I also had support with individuals around me, and we'll talk about that later. Empowerment, you know, rap, you know, will help people feel empowered in situations where they feel like they have no power at all. You know, my brother and I, we felt like we had power. Rap had taken us from being two individuals who felt hopeless, helpless, and powerless to feeling like we had a say. Feeling like we were empowered to do things. Even though we had to lock in a cell every day, the cell didn't become our world. And structure and routine. one of the things in the rap plan is a daily plan. That structure is what helped me. We were doing well because of our upbringing, but we were actually breaking down day by day. We was headed to that bad incident. And then I got this rap plan, and I wrote this daily plan for myself, and that's what helped me. I never got past the daily plan, but that's what helped me the most. Let me just say this. One of the things I had in my daily plan, what I would do every single day was, when I was little, my grandma used to always say, or my mom would say, when she wake up in the morning, she would always say, I would walk by her and she'd say, "Did I sleep in your room last night?" And I'd say, "No, you didn't." And it'd be like, "Okay, where are we going with this?" And she'd say, "Well, what are you supposed to say?" Oh, I say, "Good morning." So in my rap plan, as crazy as it sounds, I said, I want to change who I am, because we were those two guys that never said anything. We never talked to staff at all. We thought staff was the enemy. So I said, from now on, I think I'm going to do a little bit of a change coming out of that seminar we had. When I walk out the door today, and every day afterwards, I'm going to speak to every single person I see. That was a part of my rap plan. That seemed like a simple thing. And then I remember that first day, I was going over because rap is fluid. You can change it to fit whatever you want it to fit for yourself. And when I wrote that first plan, I said, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's one of my things. So that first day, I remember, and we didn't talk to guys in the prison that much either. You had to be only a few guys we talked to. So the first day, I remember walking out the cell, and I was like, "Good morning" to the first guy. And he kind of looked at me. Was like, "Okay, hey, what's going on?" And then I walked down, and I got to the desk to get my pass. And I was like, "Hey, how you doing? Good morning." And the officer looked at me like, "I don't know what to do with that, but here's your pass." Then I walked down the hallway, and I was like, "Good morning" to everybody. Hey. And I remember somebody coming to me saying, "Mr. Horton, are you all right? Is everything okay?" Because something profoundly had changed. I went from the miserable guy, even though I was doing things, I was really miserable, to now I'm this happy-go-lucky, speaking to everybody. But what I learned from that was that, I spoke to everybody, then I learned that good morning wasn't a good thing for everybody. So I started coming out the door, I say good morning. And then I see the next guy, and I'll be like, "Grand Rising." And I see another guy, I'll be like, "Assalamu alaikum." Then I was like, "Praise the Lord, brother, praise the Lord." But I started speaking, and my relationships with the staff and with the individuals on the inside began to change. And we started having unbelievable relationships with people. And I remember, it was funny because I wasn't at this institution that long, but because I had incorporated that into my daily thing, a lot of the staff was looking to us for advice and to help them with issues and things they had going on in the prison, because we seemed like we was approachable, not knowing that we used to be the really unapproachable guys. But that's what that structure did. So next. So community and connection encourages building a support network which can be vital for emotional and practical support. And it encouraged me. I was the kind of guy that couldn't receive support. I thought I could do everything on my own. But rap encouraged me to start letting people in, to start letting people support me that didn't come from my neighborhood. If you ever been in a prison, you ever worked, everybody want to be with the guys in their neighborhood. Those are not always the best guys to be with. Sometimes you have to reach out to people that don't come from where you come from. And rap helped me to do that. Resilience. I can't stress how much rap helped my brother and I bounce back. Like I said, we was in that hole, but now we was climbing. You know what I'm saying? We was climbing up out that hole. We was moving. We was starting to see light, and we started doing things, goal setting. We began to set goals for ourselves, like really achievable things that we could do that we thought would make our situation better while we was incarcerated. And that was all due to what we was writing in our rap plans. And overall, rap supports a smoother transition and enhances the likelihood of successful reintegration into society. And that's what it did for us. It made we went from having a bumpy ride inside to now our transition was real smooth now. It was like we was beginning to prosper. And even though crazy as this sounds, at some point it didn't even feel like we was in prison anymore. It felt like we found purpose in our life. It felt like we was doing things that would help us to move forward. Go ahead, next slide. So for us, we just want to say this. We see for rap, we see 3 points of reentry. That you can use rap for reentry. And we believe day one entering a prison, or day one of implementation of a program. So we say day one because we believe that reentry should have started for people as soon as they come into the system. As soon as they get into the system, as soon as they get to their first institution, they got to start that process of reentry. The next part is...
Can I support you for a quick second? This is something I want to highlight because, when Lee touches on, inmates coming into the institution. And I remember then Deputy Wall, who's Superintendent Wall of Waymart right now, saying to us, I want to have you guys down in intake. When these men come in, I want you to talk to them about rap. Because I want them individuals to get involved in rap, because he understood that by them getting involved with a rap seminar, that will help them work through a whole lot of things that they already struggle with, and they would have a smoother transition into the institution. I.e., better relationships, with other inmates, better relationships with staff, and that way, it creates an environment where we have great outcomes for everyone. So,
and also to add to that day one coming through a seminar would also help them to build connection really fast. Build a community for themselves really fast. You have guys that come in, they're scared, and they think they have to do something because I'm scared. I got to do this, but they don't know anybody. They don't have anybody that's there for them. That rap seminar would take them through a process. Anybody who's been in a rap seminar knows once you go through it, you build connection with everybody that was there. And you'll be in there with a diverse group of people, white, black, Puerto Rican, Spanish, gay. You'll be in there with people who are Muslim and Christian. You'll be in there with tall guys, short guys, fat guys, husky guys, and people from western part of the state, people from the eastern part of the state, people from in the middle, and you'll develop a relationship with these people that you would never have been able to. Now, I just want to go back and talk about that just 1 second. The guy you saw, the last person you saw, Doug Gerard, he's from North Dakota. Now, you look at this guy, now he was clearly a white guy, right? Everybody saw that? Now, he became friends with another individual they called Diablo. Now, Diablo was a guy who was a leader of a gang, because that's what we was doing rap for, to try to kind of deal with the gangs they had in North Dakota. Now, him and Diablo wound up being in the same rap seminar together. Now, Diablo was somebody who would tell you straight up that he didn't like any white people. Until the seminar was over, and he said, well, Doug is pretty good. I like him. And him and Doug became best friends because of that seminar. And they supported each other. And Doug would tell you that a part of his transition because of his relationship that he had with Diablo. Diablo was now the leader within that community, and he's been all the way to the legislature to talk about his transformation because he was one of their most violent inmates. You have to understand what I'm saying. He lived the whole. When we started the program, all he talked about was cracking somebody's head and stabbing people. That was his answer to everything. And the one thing he said about rap was it told him that he didn't have to be violent anymore. That he could actually be a human being. And he had a relationship with Doug. He's out of the hole. And he was the person who said we should have rap in the hole. So now, although we don't work for that organization anymore, that organization facilitates rap in the hole through Diablo. So that's why we said that day one thing is definitely something that's really important. But during the sentence, it's why they're serving certain rap groups and refreshers. So if somebody comes through a rap, come through the rap program, and now they have a rap group that they can go into afterward, it reinforces everything. Then they can have refreshers midway through or something. We'll talk about that later. Post-release, on parole. We can't stress how much rap can help people when they're on parole. When you come out on parole, you're scared, you have a lot of stress, you don't know where you're going to live, where you're going to make money, you don't know how you're going to feed yourself. The older you get, the more you have of that stress, that anxiety, that anxiousness of how am I going to survive out here, especially if I've been in prison for so many years and I've been dependent on everybody else to support me. people think as soon as they step out the door, they got to begin supporting everybody that supported them. You know, so that RAP plan is definitely something that they can use. Next slide. So, talk about day one, would it, like I said, include individuals currently serving time, you know, what it would be beneficial for is anyone serving a sentence particularly, but here's the thing, starting RAP early in their sentence helps individuals build a strong foundation for reentry, enhancing their chances of a successful and fulfilling life after incarceration. Just imagine if everybody that walked into a prison began to prepare for reentry. They're already thinking about going home. Most people are coming home. Most guys, and most women, and most men in prison, most young people in prison don't have life sentences. They're coming back home. But when do they start preparing? If you've been in a prison or you're dealing with reentry, you know they start a few months before they get ready to get out. They spend the whole time while they're there just doing the things they want to do, you know, having fun, you know, being a part of the events and doing things, not really focusing like, yeah, I'm going to get to that when I get to that, because they don't see themselves, you know, they don't see home yet. They don't start seeing that till they get close. With rap is something that can start to prepare them, like start to look down the road for when you go home. And here's a plan that you can do to structure so that you can have a smooth transition through prison, so you can avoid those misconducts, avoid going to the hole, avoid conflicts with staff, work in collaboration with the people that want to help you in here, not seeing everything as something I have to defend myself against, you know. So here's how RAP can help. Again, early preparation for reentry. Starting RAP upon entering prison allows individuals to prepare for reentry from day one. This proactive approach helps them set goals, identify challenges, and develop strategies to overcome these challenges, making transition to release a whole lot smoother. Next. Mental health, mental and emotional wellness. You know, RAP emphasizes mental and emotional wellness, crucial in prison environment. It helps individuals manage stress, anxiety, and other mental health issues through personalized wellness plans, leading to better mental health outcomes during incarceration and beyond. Next slide. Empowerment and self-direction. And a lot of this stuff is redundant. You heard us say this before. It keeps coming up, the same thing over and over again, but that's what you have to have. Those redundancies, those things that you need to do so it can become a habit in your life. So empowerment and self-direction. RAP empowers individuals to give them control over their wellness and recovery. This sense of control is crucial in a prison setting where individuals often feel powerless. By taking charge of their wellness, they can build confidence and resilience. But before you go, the second key concept of RAP is personal responsibility. When we was asking Rochester, I remember the superintendent said, how can we get these guys to stop doing the things they're doing? How can we do some things to kind of reduce the violence and kind of like prevent the fights and stuff like this? And one of the things we said was, why don't you give these guys some responsibility? When you give people responsibility, they believe they have a stake in things. You know, we thought we were creating programs, we were volunteering, we was involved, we was moving around the institution, and that it felt like we was in control of our lives. It felt like I had a purpose. Every day I woke up, I knew I had to do some things. It's a friend of mine, and I always tell this story, and his name was Willie Stokes, right? And Willie Stokes was funny. We was all in there together, and Willie used to be the best floor buffer in the whole DOC. And he used to like to clean. Now, Willie Stokes is actually home. He had a life sentence. He used to stay perpetually in Horton at one time. And then he started doing little things, and he felt as though, you know, because I worked with him before, and he used to boss me around. And he felt as though that was his job. You know, now he's home, he's bossing people around out here and doing the same thing. But when you think and that having that responsibility of making sure the floors are plugged, making sure the blocks clean, it may seem like something small or something that somebody might ridicule. I'm making a little slight joke of it, but the fact that gave him peace of mind. You know, when you think everything is out of control, you got to buff the floor. And in buffing that floor, you feel a little bit better about yourself. You know, I accomplished something today. And a lot of times, you're in prison, you're not accomplishing anything. The door's open for you. Your food is cooked. You don't have to have anything to do with it. The showers are clean for you. Everything is done for you. And you become a little bit handicapped in responsibility and accountability because you never do anything yourself. RAP stresses taking personal responsibility for your life. It empowers you to feel like you're in control of your life. It empowers you to believe that you're accomplishing something every single day, and and that is something that for us that was a game changer. Next slide. Personal stories of peer support. When we started doing RAP, one of the things we realized was it's your story. In RAP, we as facilitators we tell our story, and our story impacts people, and they see in us what they can become while they're inside. We was telling our story on the inside, we was still locked up. But we was telling our story on how we felt and where we was going in our lives and where we wanted to go. And we started saying about going home to guys who didn't even think about going home. All they was thinking about is my next robbery, the next package item. They wasn't thinking about going home and being productive. And then we tell them our story. And they listen. And then they say, I got a story too. And then they tell us their story. And they realize that, you are a relevant person, that you somebody who care about what you're doing. And they see their story is influencing and inspiring the guy that's in there with them. Because you have guys that say, man, when I heard his story, man, that made me really think about what I want to do with my life. And so in RAP, and even in peer work, telling those stories is really good. And it says here, RAP for Reentry includes personal stories from individuals who have successfully used RAP during and after incarceration. These stories provide inspiration and practical insights demonstrating to new inmates that positive change is possible. Next slide. Building support network. Like I said, RAP allowed me to receive support, but also, it helped me to identify the fact that I did have a support network. I didn't think I had one. When I went through that depression, I had my brother. He was the one that made me take a shower. I hadn't taken a shower in a while, so you can imagine what was going on in that cell. And let me just say this. Yeah, it was bad. And my brother made me take a shower. He washed my clothes for me, brought my food to me. The officer at the desk, I didn't know he was a supporter, but he was. That was a part of my support network. When he walked by the Duke Count, he saw me, and he said, what's up with your brother? He said, oh, yeah, he's not. Okay, I got it. Don't worry about it. And he kept on going. So when I was able to get on my feet, I went there and I said, you know what, I apologize. I know I should have stood up. And he said, you know what, I knew you was going through something. And I wasn't going to write you up when I know you was having a hard time. One of my supporters. Another one of my supporters was a guy that was in prison. People think you can't have supporters in prison. There was a guy in prison named Lafayette Gaskins. And I was laying in the bed, and this was probably like the second or third week, and he came by and he was like, yo, get up, man, what you doing? We going outside. It was nice. It was a sunny day, and he had been doing this every day. And then this time he wasn't taking no fancy. He came in to the cell, he sat down. And he's like, get up. And I got up, and I dragged myself out there, but as soon as I walked into the sunlight, it was like, I felt a whole lot better. I didn't know that was my support network. When I wrote my first RAP plan, and they was talking about supporters, and I was like, I don't got no supporters in prison. And they was like, fake about it. And I thought about it, and I was like, okay, C.O. Avalena. That's what he was one of my supporters. My brother, Lafayette Gaskins. And then I just want to go a little further back. When I first came in, and I was really like wanting to punch somebody or do something, just mad that I was in prison, it was this officer named Myers. And for some reason, the older guy, veteran, been doing this for a long time. He was the block CO. And when the block would lock down, sometimes he would just call me down to the desk. To this day, I'm still figuring this out. But then when I would get to the desk, I would sit down. He'd say, hey, Horton, sit down. And then he'd be like, listen to this story I got to tell you. And then he started telling me these corny jokes. And I was like, this dude's a weirdo. What is he telling me these jokes for? And then he would laugh. I would be, I'm not going to laugh at nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just mad. I ain't laughing at nothing this guy say. I know what he's trying to do. And then every once in a while, I'll be like, get back. But he recognized that I was getting ready to do something stupid. And he would be pulling me out of that every single time. after he would tell these little jokes and everything and talk to me for a while, and he would laugh all the time, and like this was the funniest thing in the world. Some of the stuff was funny, most of it was corny. And then I would go back and sell, and then whatever I was thinking about doing, whatever was wrong with me, would go away. I reached back and remembered he was one of my supporters. Okay. Then, so how much more time we got? 0. Okay, so
let me jump.
Zip.
So we can close it out.
So let me just say this: y'all kind of get the gist of what rap is. We didn't get finished. We kind of started a little late. But if you kind of understand what rap is, we're going to close this out. You can also do rap groups inside, rap refreshers. At the end, on parole, you can do ongoing support, all that, keep on going to the end. But also, when you're on parole, you can also combine rap. We believe that you can combine rap with the sequential intercept model they talked about earlier. And you can kind of identify needs that individuals need and kind of, help them to identify things they want to do. We call them rap reentry navigators. And so we have a lot on that. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
We wish you had much
we
time.
can do a webinar on rap.
Right.
So we can do this as part of PARC, and we can come back together, and this way the people who weren't able to see will be able to see more.
I want more information on it too. I'll follow up with those.
So everyone, please come down to the main room. You're not allowed to leave.